Welcome back, everyone. Right now, there are a lot of holes to fill on the Lakers roster, and everyone seems to have their own opinion on what kind of player they need the most. There are those that believe they need to prioritize a better fitting point guard, others believe they need to add more 3-and-D wings, and some even believe that another center should be their number one priority. And to be completely honest here, given how much the Lakers need right now, you could probably make a valid argument for any of those. They clearly need a lot of improvement to get back on top, and unfortunately for them, they do not have a lot of spending power to make that happen. Between the 8 total players that are currently projected to be on their payroll, not only are they already over the salary cap, but they are dipping into the luxury tax already too. Even if they do find a way to move on from Westbrook, they still will not have much money to work with, which will once again leave them relying on a bunch of minimum contract players to fill out their team. And while it can definitely be a challenge to find quality minimum contract players, especially ones who can fill a big role, there will always be a few available. Along with that, if there is any position in the NBA that is undervalued right now, it would undoubtedly have to be the center position. Unless we are talking about a jack of all trades kind of big, or one who is dominant at one particular thing, who also happens to be in the prime of their career, we are probably not talking about a highly paid player. And although that is unfortunate for the centers who do not fit into that category, it can give a financially burdened team like the Lakers a great opportunity. They arguably had one of, if not the worst center depth in the entire league this season. Dwight Howard was primarily average at best when actually healthy, and then DeAndre Jordan was awful. They need to find a better fitting big to pair with Anthony Davis, or to even fill in for him when he is out, and like I referred to before, they will not have a lot of money to do that with either. I already made a video talking about Thomas Bryant, who I still believe is a great option, but another big that might even be a better option happens to be Gorgui Dieng. And don't get me wrong here, I'm not saying that Gorgui Dieng is a better player than Thomas Bryant, but I am saying that he is very likely the better value option. They would have to be extremely lucky to get Thomas Bryant on a minimum contract, even after an underwhelming year, and while recovering from a partially torn ACL, Bryant will likely still be valued above a minimum. He may even be a great option to target with the biannual exception, but due to their financial problems, the Lakers may not be able to free up that contract. However, a guy they actually would be able to target for a minimum contract is once again Gorgui Dieng. And don't get it twisted, that does not mean he is a bad player or a significantly worse option compared to Thomas Bryant. He simply is dealing with a very bad case of devaluation from his now former team, the Atlanta Hawks, because during his time with the Hawks, he averaged a new career low in minutes per game. He played only 8.4 minutes per game in 44 total games played, and oftentimes did not even come off their bench. Now, they clearly did bring him in for depth and to be a veteran presence for their team, but in my opinion, they definitely did not value him highly enough. And let me explain why I feel that way. For one, Gorgui Dieng is one of the best 3-point shooting big men in the entire league. Believe it or not, he is one of only 2 centers in the entire NBA who shot above 40% from the 3-point line during each of the past 2 years, with the only other one being Zeke Naji, who in reality is more of a power forward. It's very rare to find a center who can do that, and especially when that center is not only on the court to provide shooting. Now, don't get me wrong here, I'm not trying to tell you that he is without any flaws, but Gorgui Dieng has a very well-rounded game for a big. In addition to the 3-point shooting that I referenced before, he can offer pretty much everything that a traditional big can as well. For one, Gorgui Dieng is a very good rebounder. Now, I know that might be a bit hard to tell when looking at its regular per game averages, but if you look at it from the perspective of per 36 minute average, that is when it becomes clear. Because from that viewpoint, he averaged nearly 12 rebounds per game, and believe it or not, ranked in the top 30 for rebounds per game this season. And that would put Gorgui Dieng alongside other great rebounders like Robert Williams and Kevin Love. Again, I'm not trying to say that he is the perfect player, but when looking at per 36 minute average, he rebounded at a very similar level to other players who got paid a lot more than he did. Even if you want to change the narrative to rim protection, he performed fairly well there too. When looking at per 36-minute average again, he ranked in the top 40 in block shots per game. And if you were to narrow down those categories to centers who can actually knock down 3-point shots, that list would get a whole lot shorter. We do have to keep in mind that he is slowly declining, with him now being 32 years old, but it's not like he is washed up either. What I'm trying to prove here is not that Gorgui Dieng is an elite player, or even that he would put up these same kind of numbers if given more minutes, because neither of those would be true. Rather, I am simply trying to prove his underrated value to a team. There are not many centers in the NBA who can do everything that he can, and even fewer who get paid under $5 million per year to do it. In my opinion, Gorgui Dieng would be an absolute steal for a minimum contract. He would be an immediate upgrade over Dwight Howard, and a huge upgrade over DeAndre Jordan. He would not have trouble playing in any lineup combination they put him into either. He could theoretically play with, or play without Anthony Davis on the court with him, and that is something that cannot be said for many centers that they've had during the past 3 years, and especially regarding ones who are actually playable come playoff time. Gorgui Dieng would fit into that category though. He is a big enough threat from the 3-point line to space the floor for Anthony Davis, while at the same time being big enough to help him rebound and protect the rim too. Now, I know that all of that might sound a bit too good to be true from a center, let alone one that could likely be had for a minimum contract, but that is what a guy like Gorgui Dieng could potentially offer them, and it all may be thanks to the Atlanta Hawks for devaluing him. No, I obviously cannot guarantee that he would be willing to take a minimum contract, nor can I guarantee that the Lakers would even offer him one, but to me, they would be stupid not to. If you take the time to go through every free agent center available, it's hard to come up with a better value pick than Gorgui Dieng. He is one of the very few who can offer 3-point shooting, rebounding, and at least average defense for that price, and probably the only one who has actually proven to be a quality player. There might be a young center or two who have the potential to do all of that, but other than Gorgui Dieng, there are not any available who have already proven that they can, and especially not for a minimum contract. In conclusion though, I know that I just went full Gorgui Dieng stan on you, and that I may have made him sound a bit better than he actually is, but in my opinion, he is probably the best value option available. With all of that being said though, what do you guys think? Do you agree or do you disagree with Gorgui Dieng being a top free agent priority for the Lakers? Let me know your thoughts by commenting down below and we can talk about it there. That will do it for this video though. Big thank you to those of you who took the time to watch until the end of this video, and until the end of all of my videos in general. I really hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, be sure to drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you have not already, and turn on notifications to get notified right away when I drop a new video. But as always, thank you for watching and have a great day.